Kashimo vs Toji is an interesting matchup and quite perplexing as I thought about this fight for a few days without really being able to conclude who's stronger, until I remembered one key element which I will get to later on, but firstly let me inform you guys on the strength of each character and how they scale to each other. Also, a little disclaimer, I'm going to be using the version of Kashimo that fought Hikari and not his mythical beast Amber version, since I'm trying to keep both fighters in character as to what they would do in the series, and Kashimo would only really use that form on Sukuna. Also, I'm only using hidden inventory Toji if it wasn't already obvious. Now, it's a little convoluted to get these guys to scale to each other as we have to connect the dots on multiple characters. Now, Kashimo and Hikari should be somewhat relative fighters, as in my opinion, in the battle, there wasn't a clear winner, and I do plan on making a video on that fight, but we can see they aren't too far apart from each other in strength. Now, Hikari is stated to be on a similar level to Yuta, and in some instances superior. And once Maki gets her awakening, she is said to be on equal strength to Toji. Maki, Yuta, and Hikari are stated to be on a similar level by Kenjaku. Maki is also shown physical relativity to a 15-finger Maguna, and Kashimo is able to put pressure on a sort of nerfed but also stronger version of Maguna since he should be at 19 to 20 finger level, but shouldn't be at his full power since he sustained heavy damage from Gojo. So, in short, Kashimo and Toji are both stated to be relative to the three heavy hitters, and you can rank and decode which ones are stronger, but the story tells us they're around the same level and that gap between them isn't that large, especially in physical stats. Kashimo's kit is very simple when excluding his curse technique. His curse energy has a trait akin to electricity, making every attack landed shock the opponent even if they block it. He's able to place charges whenever he lands a strike, allowing him to release the opposing charge from his body, creating a bolt of electricity that will tear through his opponents, becoming a sure hit without needing a domain expansion. He also has Hollow Wicker Basket, but that isn't relative to this fight. Kashimo also uses a metal staff in combat that he also uses in conjunction with his curse energy trait. Toji has the rare heavenly restriction of having absolutely zero curse energy, and this resulted in his 5 senses being heightened to their absolute peak. He's able to see curses and jujutsu with just his elevated senses and even developed a resistance to them. This also allowed Toji to track sorcerers without the use of residuals, as he's able to follow human footprints and odors, and by eliminating all curse energy, Toji's body became sharpened to the point where it reached physical peak condition. Toji has a curse spirit that can store many different objects within his body. Toji can freely interchange his weapons by putting them and taking them outside the curse's mouth. This curse can shrink itself within its own body, allowing Toji to ingest it so people can't detect its curse energy. Toji uses an assortment of normal weapons and tools to be completely undetected when assassinating targets. One of the main curse tools Toji uses is the Soul Split Katana. It bypasses physical toughness and cuts directly at the soul. Another is the Inverted Spear of Heaven with the ability to completely nullify curse techniques on contact. In conjunction with the Inverted Spear of Heaven, Toji connects the chain of 1,000 miles. This tool can keep extending as long as the user doesn't allow the back end to be visible. Toji hides the end of the chain within the curse's mouth to counter its own drawback. Now, there are 2 scenarios I have in mind for this battle. Scenario 1, Toji is contacted to assassinate Kashimo and he takes the offer. In this situation, I think Toji can just sneak up on Kashimo and kill him with one blow, Yuta style. And if somehow Kashimo survives, he will be injured and Toji can finish him off with the Soul Split Katana very quickly. Now, scenario number 2 is we put them in some type of void with no outside interference or conditions, and we just pit them against each other head on. In character, I see Toji using Soul Split as his main weapon and Kashimo will be using his staff obviously. In this exchange, I see them clashing weapons and Kashimo will try to block Soul Split with his staff, allowing Toji to cut through it and cut down Kashimo, as well as winning the fight. But I do believe this is a situation where Toji has to do everything completely right, so his mental state would have to be completely unwavering, which I'm not sure I can guarantee. So if he makes one wrong move, Kashimo will be able to set the charge and one-shot Toji, winning him the fight. Now, I think Toji versus Kashimo in this fashion is one of the closest hypothetical matchups in JJK, similar to Gojo versus Sukuna, but like on a tier below. Personally, I'd give the edge to Toji as the ease of the Soul Split Katana doesn't require as much setup. So in conclusion, I'd give it to Toji 5.5 out of 10 times, but if you think Kashimo's has the edge, I can't even blame you. So yeah, with this fight, there isn't really too much to go into it, regardless of how close it is. There's really only a few ways it can go, but you know, you guys let me know what you think, how this fight kind of goes, I guess, who you think wins. But yeah, like and subscribe, I guess, type shit. Peace.